I'm actually blown away by the story. Quentin Jammer, by the way, Texas Longhorn, many years in the NFL, came out in the last couple of days on X and said, I once played, I think he said 11 games drunk.
Wow.
He didn't say buzzed. Mm-hmm. He said drunk.
Yes.
People started, by the way, Jimmy sent him clips like, were you drunk in this game? Were you drunk in that game? And how did you play? And he said, I played really good in all but one of the games.
Really?
That's what he said.
So he found his sauce. He found his process. Now, let me tell you the difference between being a Texas fan and a New York sports fan. 11 games blows you away, okay? But I grew up as a Yankee fan. Mickey Mantle was playing 162. I would argue the greatest hitter of all time because he was facing 2 pitchers at once. Okay, not easy to hit a home run right. when you're seeing a double pitcher out there on the mound.
Yes.
But I'm still fascinated by this. And I think what it really speaks to is just how elite and how genetically gifted professional athletes are, that they can perform at that level despite what should be some type of a detriment to their performance.
Well, but they're going up against guys who are also that elite.
Yeah.
So, okay, Quentin Jammer drunk covers me, no problem. But Quentin Jammer covering, I mean, who were your top receiver? Andre Johnson in the same time frame. Houston Texans, great wide receiver, right? Mm-hmm. Drunk? Come on.
Big problem.
You would think.
I mean, but you would think. But I don't doubt half of the league's probably smoking weed, too. I'm not saying Andre Johnson was.
Okay, I definitely think guys in the NBA smoke weed before games.
Yeah.
And if you and I were sitting here going, I looked under Jammer's post, by the way, and the first comment was just a guy, so who knows if it's real. He said, I once played a game after doing LSD. He goes, best game I ever played in my life. But if I were ranking substances to do before an elite athletic performance, like football, okay, darts, different, okay? Not on the same, something that requires cardio, stamina, coordination. Drunk would be among the worst I think you could possibly do to yourself. Weed would be really high up there. I'm not sure it would be worse than drunk.
For my money, this is why I agree with you. I don't drink when I do stand-up because it slows my brain down.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm more reflexive in real time without it. So what I wonder, though, is, when you go to a party and there are those people that are elite dancers, okay, and they're probably drinking all night, but their process allows them a level of self-application we don't understand when it comes to physical feats. And I don't doubt he has to be one of those guys. Because have you ever been at a party where someone can is like they are Michael Jackson? Like they dance so much like Michael Jackson, people are keeping their kids away from them. Okay, have you ever been at one of those? Like, this guy's a little too good on the moonwalk. I'm going to need the kids to get back in the minivan. But the point is, that guy who usually decides I'm going to commandeer this wedding for the next 15 minutes is usually the drunkest guy there. So maybe there's something to be said for certain people's coordination. I don't have it. I'm telling you up front, I don't have it. But maybe he does.
Well, do you have this? So I do think there's something to this as well. Obviously, substances affect people differently. Anything that people take. And I think alcohol is one of the most obvious. I am one of these people. Alcohol makes me tired. Alcohol doesn't really give me energy. But there are other people that I see, they drink and their energy level goes up.
Yep.
Now, these happen to be a lot of the same people that don't seem to get hangovers.
Yeah, that's a weird thing.
And they're I don't know if their endorphins fire and keep firing the entire time they're drinking, but mine, I feel like I go through a short, 2 drinks, 3 drinks up, and then it starts to go down for me. And maybe Quentin Jammer is one of these guys that for whatever reason gets energy when he drinks. There are those guys, don't you think?
Yes, and that's what I was going to say. I think something about this that we need to know is, what is he drinking? Because you're not doing this on beer. Beer bloats you, gets you heavy, tires you out, dehydrates you.
Yes.
But if he's drinking sugary, fun stuff, he might get an up. Because remember Maurice Clarett, who won a national title at Ohio State?
Yeah, sure.
Then kind of bombed out of the league in a hurry. But one of the famous quotes about him that year in summer camp in the NFL was he was going to the car between two-a-days going, I've got to get my goose on. He was drinking Grey Goose. But if he's drinking goose and something sugary, maybe you do get a little pep out of that.
That's incredible.
In a way, not me, not you, but maybe that's crazy.
It's just mind-blowing that a guy could play defensive back in the NFL, self-described drunk. The Mickey Mantle thing, this sounds like I'm being dismissive of baseball, and I'm not. But it is not football.
Yeah, you're not running, you're not hitting.
I'm not saying it's darts.
Agreed.
But it requires coordination, that's for sure. But I could see you going to the plate. like you point out, like, if you're seeing double, how are you hitting the ball?
You're facing 2 pitchers at once. I mean, how does that affect the batting average? So listen, again, I think he was just a superior person in his prime. You know, people are born into different levels of genetic prosperity. It's like Hollywood actors. Whenever you're around, Melania Trump's a good example. We've all met Melania Trump. When you see Melania Trump in person, it's like the first time you see a thoroughbred horse. I'm not calling her a horse, but the first time you see a thoroughbred horse, you go, oh, this is a different breed of horse than I've grown up seeing at kids' birthday parties and police parades. And sometimes a supermodel, a Hollywood A-list actor, or an NFL athlete has a genetic distinction from the rest of us. They're just endowed that much better. And that might be what it is. I had a buddy who worked for the NBA and NBC.
Doesn't it make you sad to think about really quickly how good Mantle could have been then?
Oh, but insane.
Like, if you're talking about he's so elite that he could even do this and remain elite, how elite would he have been without this?
And I think that was like his great torment later in life, just the same as he wanted to be that. But really quick, my buddy was a statistician for the NBA and NBC, the original version, Ahmad Rashad, Bob Costas. And he said when they were doing that Sunday afternoon game, staying in the same hotel as the teams, guys would be either getting home or getting people out of their room at 9 a.m. And morning shoot-arounds became a thing as a means of getting athletes out of strip clubs or getting strippers out of hotels and giving them somewhere to be at 9 a.m. And they were still able to perform at a high level. So I don't doubt that he's telling the truth about that.
You don't drink during stand-up?
I really don't. I bring one drink on stage, right? I'll do an hour of stand-up. At the 1 hour mark, I'll downshift and do like a 15-minute Q&A. Ask me anything you want about Fox. I don't answer the questions. I just make fun of them, okay? And at that point, I will sip whiskey and buy them time while they're answering me questions, answer them all, and then I'll put the whiskey back on the stool and close with like whatever you think your best 5 minutes are at the moment and get out of there.
Do you think most comedians are doing it? What do you think, percentage-wise, comedians on stage on something? Drinking or drugs?
Low. The super successful ones, low. Okay, if you're like a club comic who's murdering, like I can give you an example. In the city, it's about 30 guys that were you to see them tonight, you'd one by one assume that was the best comedian you've ever seen. But they've never made it beyond the city because they didn't find that larger vehicle. And one of the reasons why is there's a lifestyle that comes with doing stand-up. You are drinking free if you want to. You know, you are taking home wayward cocktail waitresses and tourists if you want to. But if you actually want to treat this like a job, it's something I heard Seinfeld say one day, is he's like, you know, I woke up in my apartment, I watched these construction workers going to work at 5 in the morning, and I realized they didn't want to, but they had to. And that's when I realized I had to write every day. I had to treat comedy like it was a construction job.
Yeah.
So the people that are wildly successful really aren't. It's not the 80s.
That's what I say. Do you think it's changed over time?
Big time.
So in the 80s, everybody was high?
It's just cocaine. It was just a walking Scarface audition, everybody. And that was, the old adage in showbiz, is that you thought you'd get into these green rooms. Like when I was a little kid, I pictured green rooms as like, ancient Rome, just cocaine and camcorders.
Yeah.
And now you get there now and people are swapping smoothie recipes and like, do you do Pilates or do you hike? It's kind of depressing, actually.